Hollywood has been desperately trying to hold on to the star power that a single actor or actress can bring to a project that, regardless of quality or effort, will breed success, and the dim-witted, gluttonous audience will happily clap like seals and look past every flaw. However, there's been a paradigm shift I'm sure no one saw coming. Audiences don't like bad actors. I know. Surprising, right?
No.
But as the facade of fame has vanished since any idiot with a phone can become famous on TikTok or YouTube by doing almost nothing, the glamour of the elite has faded. Not to mention the realization of the financial and social gap and struggles affecting billions of people around the world always seem to be a topic of conversation, but never an area of concern for those in the limelight. And possibly the worst crime is that they're not subscribed, like you should be. So go ahead and do that now. But let's not get distracted. We're here to talk about one thing and one thing only. Why does Gal Gadot keep getting hired? Now, it's fine if you're on the side where she's not as bad as everyone says, and it's not fair to critique her when evidently she's still getting roles. And sure, I think it's fine that you believe that. I would say go watch the new Snow White and then tell me how you feel afterwards, but I'm not here to change your mind and make you hate Gal Gadot, because personally, I don't think she's this horrible person who should never work again. Rather, we need to have a conversation about Hollywood's obsession with casting the same people, and how someone who's objectively not performing to the level normally expected in $100 million blockbusters can still be working so consistently. Gal Gadot got her first claim to fame in 2004 when her mom submitted her application to Miss Israel, the largest beauty pageant in the country, and only a few months later, she took home the crown at only 18 years old. This led to her next step, which is obviously being a part of the Miss Universe pageant. But this time she didn't win, and instead went home to serve in her required military service for 2 years. But this didn't stop her from taking modeling jobs and having massive brand sponsorships thanks to her popularity from winning Miss Israel. Not long after, Gal Gadot made her first acting debut in the Israeli TV show Badot, but soon got called into an audition for a small role in a pretty unknown franchise. She was cast in the supporting role of Giselle in the fourth film of the Fast and Furious franchise. In some stroke of luck, with only a few years of experience and little to no training, she was cast as a recurring character in one of the biggest movie series of all time. She became an icon in her country, and after befriending a lot of studio heads in the film she was in, she was able to be a part of many films with massive names attached to it. At first, she held her own, like in Keeping Up with the Joneses or Fast and Furious. She was elevated by the great cast around her and fit that role well. At the time, she was this mysterious, badass, sexy female character who was surprisingly good at fighting, and with her background in the military as well as her experience modeling, she pretty much fit this role perfectly. Everything was great. Until 2016. Zack Snyder cast Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in the upcoming Batman vs Superman movie. An absolutely boring film to rewatch, but regardless, a massive jump in her career. She got a 3-picture deal with Warner Bros., taking on her first lead role in the Wonder Woman solo movie a few years later. The success of this film shot her into the same level as Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and so on and so on. Names that were used by every studio to desperately beg the audience to fill the seats in the theater. But just as fast as she rose, she began to fall. As a side character with little impact on the film, she wasn't that hard to watch, but when she is the driving force behind the entire project, the cracks begin to show. And once we got to this point, just watch.
Max Lord, you're putting yourself and everyone else in grave danger. I need you to give me the stone.
Why? Because of your guilt?
Kal-El, no.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
And enough champagne to fill the Nile.
Gal Gadot's line delivery was memed to the moon and back, with every new movie she was in having at least one moment where it broke immersion and made you think, was that really the best take they could get? It's to the point where even Watch Mojo is making a montage of her worst moments. It makes you question if she was just a pretty face that got given the opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, yeah, probably. But also take that with a grain of salt, okay? I don't want to trash her entirely. She performs action scenes well. It's just the monotone, dull performances are more obvious when next to great actors. She can be charming and charismatic and has done well before. She's just more on the level of Hallmark acting or straight-to-DVD movies that end up in the Walmart bins.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
Also, she was almost cast as Barbie. Could you imagine Gal Gadot in the emotional scenes Margot Robbie gives us? It would have been like a life-size doll with no expression. Wait, maybe that would have worked. It kind of feels like every scene with her is the first time she's saying the line out loud. And as much as you try to bury it, I'll never forget this gal.
Imagine there's no heaven.
And I can't blame her entirely because it's the studios who keep putting her in massive films, hoping her name recognition will lead to more money in their pockets. But nowhere is this more obvious than Snow White. The Evil Queen is one of the most iconic villains in Disney history, and we've seen actresses take on this character before, where the performances feel alive and exciting. But in Snow White, we get what might possibly be my favorite review ever. Gal Gadot is so bad, she doesn't even know how to stand still and do nothing right. And even though we're not here to debate if this film should exist at all, it does, and this is the best they could give us? You would think Hollywood wouldn't be so far detached from its audience, and they would realize that casting big names just doesn't work anymore. Look at Red 1, which was clowned on for The Rock, playing The Rock in yet another movie. Just change the setting to a jungle, and you would have 6 other Rock movies you could alternate scenes with, and no one would notice. But maybe they've realized this a little more when looking at Red Notice and Snow White's terrible box office returns. Snow White only made $43 million domestic in its first week, which is worse than Dumbo, the live-action 2019 adaptation that no one even saw. Of course, they'll blame someone else for this shortcoming and not reflect on their own soulless remakes that nobody wants. But Gal Gadot has proved once again Hollywood doesn't care about the end product. As long as they can sell the expectation of success, they're happy. Gal Gadot, I hope you can become someone who's known for how far they progressed as an actress, instead of an easy target for critical nobodies like myself.
No!
But thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on her performances, if she can get better, or if it's all downhill from here. Also, let me know your thoughts on Snow White. Weirdly enough, it seems like this movie is the one that made the public more aware that she's not up to the standard that we expect. But go ahead and watch my other videos. It would tell the algorithm that I'm worth watching, at least for a few minutes while you're eating or wiping. Subscribe now if you haven't already, and as always, thanks for watching.